You're watching Wager Talk Today, the best daily sports betting show on the planet. Bryan Power joining us right off the bat. And yes, Bryan, I am back. I'm ready to go, and I am loving your new hairstyle.
Well, I like your new beard, Prez. So, hey, it's almost a new year, a new look, new leases on life. That's the way to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and look, both our wives get to have an affair with us, so it works out for everybody.
Certainly, yes. I'll get back to you on the morning wager about that tomorrow. Yes.
But Bryan, welcome to the show, brother. And we got to get straight into it. We got a great lineup. You're on Andy Lang, Gianni, the Greek, joining us later. Dave Mason. This is a packed program, and we're going to start right off the bat with one of the sexiest games. Indiana plus 6.5 against Notre Dame. A total here of 51. I'm really curious what type of bets you found in this game. Where should we go?
Yeah, Prez, what this game ultimately is going to come down to, at least in my opinion, is Notre Dame's ability to stop the run, or ability to run the ball, I should say. They average 6.7 yards per carry. That's number 2 in the country. And then Indiana, their defense, number 1 in the country in terms of fewest rush yards allowed. So strength on strength there. Whoever wins that matchup probably goes a long way in advancing. Obviously, the weather is something we need to be cognizant of here. The temperatures expected to be below freezing in South Bend tonight. Some snow in the forecast. Now, Prez, I know you remember this. Something we saw right here in Cleveland a couple Thursdays ago when the Browns faced the Steelers is that snow does not necessarily mean we should all be running to bet an under. In fact, there's decent snowfall during the game. Often works as a disadvantage to the defense. These receivers and running backs, they get an open space. They know where they're going. Individual defenders do not. Makes tackling hard. So, everything being said, breaking down this game, considering the fact Indiana's number 2 in the country in points per game, 9-3 to the over this season, I would look at Indiana team total over tonight. I know everyone loves to focus on the fact the Hoosiers didn't do anything after that first drive against Ohio State, struggled in the one step up in class. But what about Notre Dame's defense in the regular season finale, Prez? They got exposed, I thought, allowed 557 total yards to USC. I know it's a lot sunnier out in Los Angeles than it is in South Bend this time of year, but I don't think the snow and cold slow down Curtis Rourke in Ohio U, a former Ohio U Bobcat, I may add, and this Hoosiers offense. I think Indiana puts points on the board, over 22.5 team total.
Bryan, listen, what you're saying makes sense. This Indiana team can score. Do you really think Notre Dame's D was exposed in that game, or maybe they went up early in the third quarter, and USC had to play comeback football? You look down here. I mean, this Notre Dame team, other than that USC game, 14-14, 3-14, 13-7, 3-7. Man, it seems like it's really tough to get 3 touchdowns on this team.
I'll say this. By Notre Dame standards, Prez, I think this was the weakest schedule they've played in decades. I only had them playing 2 top 40 teams all year. I do not have Army as a top 40 team, for the record. Sorry, Zeno. But they played Louisville and USC. They were outgained in both of those games. I think a lot of these defensive numbers, I could say the same thing about Penn State, too, for their game with SMU. They really just dominated the bottom feeders. So, to me, I don't know. Indiana, their offense, I think they're going to be able to put up points. I think they're live to win the game, quite frankly, Prez. Everyone, again, has such a focus on how Indiana failed when they stepped up in class against Ohio State. Is that loss worse than Notre Dame losing outright as a 4-touchdown favorite to a 7-win MAC team, Northern Illinois, here in South Bend? I think not. The Notre Dame schedule was soft this year, in my opinion. Not that Indiana's was great, but it's kind of a wash when you look at these two schedules. That's just my take.
Well, Indiana led by a Canadian quarterback. So if I'm not betting this game, we know who I'm cheering for.
And he went to Ohio U first.
Yeah, nobody asked.
Well, I told you. Good people go to Ohio University.
Bryan Power joining us, everyone. Guys, if you like the show, take a second out of your day and hit that like button. It's like bang. You didn't come across a grizzly bear, Prez. Mac Brown, nice to see you. Based on my ridiculous beard, I'm the grizzly bear. And no, didn't come across a grizzly bear, but had a really, really fun ski trip. We got super lucky. We had a ton of snow, 59 centimeters. I know for you Americans, that doesn't transmit in your head. What I don't even know what that is in inches, but it's a lot. Well, let's leave it at that. 59 centimeters of snow in one night, 30 centimeters of snow 2 nights later. It was an incredible trip. Brian, we're going to talk Bucks and Cavs and Texans and Chiefs, and I want to go into the Texans and Chiefs game first. So this game is on Saturday, and look, kudos to Kansas City. This is a team that did not cover 7 straight. They covered last week against Cleveland, finally covered a game. Now they're playing Houston, 42. I don't know if this game is crucial to either of these teams. I think KC now has a nice window with Buffalo and Pittsburgh behind them, and Houston has that division basically wrapped up. So what do we do in a game like this? I can't find a bet, and I'm going to be taping the NFL presidential address later today, and this game's an outright pass for me, Brian. I'm so curious where you're going.
Yeah, I'm not really in a rush to bet either side here, Prez. Both have the divisions wrapped up. Kansas City, of course, still has home field advantage to clinch. As Prez mentioned, they've got the inside track over the Bills, despite the head-to-head loss. Obviously, the big story, Patrick Mahomes being confirmed in. My first thought with the side, Prez, is I really wish I would have teased Kansas City up when they were sitting at 2.5, when Mahomes' status was uncertain. I could have had a lot of closing line value there, but now they're obviously minus 3.5. Couple angles to consider here that I picked up. One is Houston has been the league's best first half team all season. 12-2 against the spread in the first half. That is best in the league, like I mentioned. The flip side, though, they're only 3-11 against the spread in the second half, which is tied for worst in the league. Pretty extreme there. But, Prez, there's an interesting league-wide trend developing this season I wanted to share with the people. Denver blows the halftime lead last night and loses to the Chargers, right? NFL teams leading at the half this season are now just 87, 125, and 3 ATS in the second half. That's pretty incredible. So if you're someone who likes to live bet these games, taking a look at teams trailing at the half seems to be a good idea in 2024, especially if it's the Chiefs in this game, I would say. But in terms of the full game here, if you want to bet, I think we should look at the total. The under is 20-10 when CJ Stroud starts. Somewhat quietly, though, Stroud has not been very good this year. Just 373 yards passing the last 2 games. It's down at number 28 in EPA plus completion percentage over expectation. Chiefs defense is pretty good. 20 points or less, 7 of the last 10 games. Combine that with Mahomes being hobbled, Prez, which obviously impacts the Chiefs offense. I think you're taking a look at an under 42 here.
Yeah, and listen, I think that's the only way to look. I agree with you, although I'm not going to be betting this game. But I do, I did resonate with one of the things you said, and that is Houston is an incredible first half team. Because strangely, and I don't have the statistics to back this up right now offhand, but I know just from an eye test, Kansas City is the best second half team we've seen in years, over the last 3-4 years. I mean, this is not just a one-off game. This Kansas City team constantly struggles in the first half and comes out and constantly rolls in the second half. Is there an opportunity here where we could bet Houston first half and come back with Kansas City second half?
I mean, that's typically the way it goes, right? Houston gets out to a halftime lead. They don't play well in the second half, and the Chiefs win close, right? I think all but 2 of Kansas City's wins this year have been by 1 possession. It's historical nature. You know, I know a lot of people saying, they're the worst, 12-1 team ever, 13-1. I mean, that's up for debate later on, I guess. But yeah, I mean, if you're talking about the way things have played out for these teams this year, as like I laid out, if Kansas City is behind at halftime in this game, I would absolutely look to jump in and live bet them no matter what the number is, because history says they come back and the Texans can't hold a lead. It's been a problem league-wide.
Bryan Power, everyone. Brian is on a 12-4 all sports run in your last 9 days. Brian, that's 16 plays in 9 days, including Sunday NFL. Why so little?
Well, we had a rough start to December, so we decreased our volume. We focused on what we really liked, and lo and behold, we're turning things around. And we're going to be turning things around tonight. In college football, we've only had one bowl play so far, and it was a winner on the first drive, of the second half, with Memphis's team total over 31.5. That was the Frisco Bowl on Tuesday. We got two bowl plays today. I'm playing, including Indiana Notre Dame. I have a different play than what I talked about earlier.
Okay, well, let's turn our attention to some NBA. There's 3 games on tap tonight. You want to talk about Milwaukee and the Cavaliers. You've got a team total bet for us on Cleveland. What is it?
Yeah, so anyone who watched the morning wager with myself and Mark Zino yesterday knows we said to fade the Thunder off the NBA Cup final. They were in Orlando laying a decent number. That play did not look good early, and it certainly got dicey late, but the Magic plus 6.5 covered by the hook. So now we've got the team that beat OKC in the NBA Cup on Tuesday, Milwaukee. I wanted to fade them as well, but then I took a look at this number, Prez, and I don't want to lay 9 against Milwaukee the way they're playing right now. You go back to earlier in the season, the Bucks lost twice to the Cavs in a 3-day span, but those 2 losses, guys, were by a combined 3 points. So they played them tough, and Giannis didn't even play in the second game, which was here in Cleveland, and the Bucks closed plus 8.5, basically the same number we're getting him here with him in the lineup. So we got a team I want to fade, Milwaukee, but I can't get to the number. What do we do instead? You talked about it. You teed it up, Prez. Team total, Cleveland, over 115.5. This team is number 2 in the league in scoring, 121.5 points per game. I know Milwaukee's defense has improved. That's why the whole team's improved recently. But you know what Cleveland is not going to do in this game, everybody? Miss 27 of 32 threes like Oklahoma City did on Tuesday. There have been only 9 games this season where Cleveland did score 116, and 6 of those, they scored 113, 114, or 115. So this is not a number, 115.5. We should be afraid of betting Cleveland to go over. That is my look for this one on Friday.
Bryan Power, outstanding stuff. Guys, take advantage of Bryan's hot streak. He had a rough go for about a couple of weeks ago. Other than that, Bryan Power has just been absolutely outstanding. And we do have a bunch of promos available that you guys could take advantage of. Bri, anything else really quick? Nope. Bri is gone. Okay, guys, so we got the bowl season basically starting today. I've got a 4% play up tonight. Brian's got a play up. Gianni, everybody is in full action. We've got a big card going tomorrow. We got an incredible promo for everybody across the site. It's $149 for the entire bowl season. That's $149 for the entire bowl season. That comes every play, sides, totals, prop bets, 5%, 2%, every single play all the way till the national champion is announced. It's only $149. My bowl seasons have been incredible. 19-9 my last 2 years of bowls, 68%. And I've got one going today. So take advantage of that promo. We do have a few other promos up live. If you go over to WagerTalk, hit the deals button. All the promos are up there. And if you guys are buying from WagerTalk on a regular basis, you should always hit that deals page first. Andy Lang joining us, everyone. And Andy, right off the bat, we got to start with darts. I was skiing in Whistler a few days ago, and there was 2 people on the chairlift. I kid you not. They were talking about some dude who gave them dart betting advice. I bit my tongue and just listened to the conversation. It must have been you, right?
No, it was not me. I wish I would have been there. 2-0 sweep yesterday.
They were talking about you.
Oh, really? Oh, they were talking about me? Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
That's
on the
great.
chairlift.
Well, we're 12-2 so far this tournament. Red hot. We've given out a couple winners here on the show. And yes, darts has taken on a life of its own. I woke up this morning to a message from Instagram. Someone asked if I had a same game parlay for darts for the early games. So never in a million years did I expect this much attention. But Prez, there's a reason. This is a gettable sport. This is a moneymaker. We do it every year at this tournament. There is no reason to be missing out on profits, no matter what sport it is. So yes, darts has been very, very good. I don't know if you saw it, number 2 player in the world, upset, boom, out of there yesterday, and we faded him. That was one of our plays, fading the number 2 player in the world.
Was it Ted Lasso that beat him when he swapped hands?
No, it was Michael Smith. The game went to overtime. It was super crazy and exciting, but in the end, yeah, he lost, and we had his under darts average. So super exciting.
Dude, it would have been way more exciting as if you go to overtime in darts, you have to throw at the other person until the person throws the white flag in and loses. Guys, Andy's dart play is Michael Van Gerwen and James Hurrell over 3.5 sets. Darts is now over and done. We do not need to discuss darts anymore.
The chat would disagree. The chat would disagree. The chat has been loving the darts plays, Prez. Don't disrespect the sport.
Dude, I opened with the sport. I gave out your pick. There's now nowhere more to go. So let's focus on some NFL. You've got 2 quarterback prop bets. Let's go there.
I'm going to get my breakdown done before the end of this segment. All right, NFL, we're going to go Joe Burrow over 23.5 pass completions. Bengals now have a little life here. He's gone over in 7 straight games. And honestly, Cincinnati's just pretty bad running the ball. 89.3 yards per game the last 3 weeks. They're 30th on the season. Joe Burrow's he's their offense. So I would expect them to throw the ball quite a bit. Like I said, they've got some life now in their season. So let's take Joe Burrow over his completions, and then Russell Wilson over 9.5 rushing yards. Prez, last 2 weeks with no George Pickens, he's had season highs of 13 and 17. The previous 6 games with George Pickens only went over 1 time, and that was when he had 10 yards. So without Pickens, that long ball isn't there. The pocket breaks down. He takes off and runs, and the Ravens give up 15 yards rushing to quarterback. So let's take a couple quarterback props to get some NFL profits in.
Yeah, the Russell Wilson one makes a lot of sense to me. Look at Bryan Power there. The Russell Wilson one makes a lot of sense to me, Andy, and it's 1 run. And we saw Justin Herbert do it last night on a crucial 3rd down, get 10 yards on that 1 run right there and then. I'm hoping that it does not get screwed with Pittsburgh taking the knee, but I think Baltimore is going to win this game. So I really like that bet. Makes a lot of sense, Andy. NBA, we've got 2 prop bets for us. Let's hear what they are.
We're just going to keep taking Joel Embiid under 1.5 made threes. He hasn't hit 2 3-pointers in any game this season. He's only taking 2 3-point attempts the last game, and he's shooting 20% from 20%. So it's just not really happening for Joel Embiid from behind the arc. And then we're going to take George Niang over 3.5 rebounds. This guy's sneakily gone over in 6 straight games. He's averaging 9 rebound chances. And here's the key with this one, Prez. Gone over in 5 straight games against Milwaukee. So we get a great matchup. You get a guy that's playing well. And I worry about a little bit of a letdown from Milwaukee tonight. If their shooting is off a little bit, could get a few more rebound chances. So let's take George Niang over his rebounds.
Andy Lang joining us. Andy, let's hold the NHL bet and go back to darts. Oh, Pezzy, how are you, brother? I like your name. Prez, I hear you were wrestling grizzly bears on. Dan, what is going on, bro? What did I miss, Dan? What did I miss?
This is the proof. Look on this. This is someone sent us this photo of you on vacation, and there has been reports that you were fighting grizzly bears, and the photo, clearly not doctored, shows that.
So what I'm seeing from the photo is the bear thought my body was delicious, but I was probably too
ate it like a hot dog.
My head was too full of shit. So he left it. He left the head alone. Okay. There we go. So darts, Andy, 12-2 your last 5 days. That is really, really good. Now, what does 12-2 mean? Are these minus 800s?
No. These are, I think the one yesterday was minus 110. The free play today is minus 150. You got Van Gerwen, who's the number 3 player in the world, and Hurl is 89. But here's the big thing here, Prez. Hurl had to play in round 1. Michael Van Gerwen got a bye. We've seen these higher seeds that get buys. They come out rusty. And the guys that played in the first round are keeping the games really close. So Hurl won his first game 3-0. So he swept his opponent. And Van Gerwen, even though he's number 3 in the world, he's in bad form. He got beat 6-1 in his last match. He's lost 4 out of his last 5 matches. I don't understand why the books have this price. Like, he's this going to absolutely run through Hero with absolutely no competition whatsoever. All we need is both guys to win one set. It's best out of 3. So I really like this one. These big time favorites are dangerous in this tournament, as we saw yesterday. Number 2 in the world busted a lot of parlays yesterday, so you got to be careful. So we'll be happy betting against some of these bigger name guys.
I'm so curious what the volume is on these dart bets. Tennis is a sport we don't talk about much on the show, Andy. It's one of the most bet sports on the planet. From a strict amount of bets made, not dollar bets, but just actual volume of bets. Do you have any info on darts?
On darts for the volume of darts? No, but it has to have skyrocketed in the last year. Luke Littler at 16 years old came in and took the sport over. He brought in a ton of ratings. He's brought in a ton of money. He's brought in a ton of attention. And this is kind of like the WNBA Caitlin Clark thing, where more eyeballs on a sport, more betting on a sport. I'm not comparing the two, but you get a 16-year-old that comes in and has all this attention. He's exciting. He's charismatic. It can only mean more bets. I mean, can you imagine a year ago saying, hey, we should do dart segments every day of the World Championships? No way. But once you get these sports start to take off and people realize there's money to be made there, it takes the books a little bit of time to catch up. So we're getting these soft lines and we're able to take advantage.
153 of you guys, 162 live in the chat room, only 30 likes. Please, guys, take a second out of your day and hit that like button. Subscribe to our channel. Andy, 190,000 subscribers. Let's break 200,000 soon. You got an NHL prop bet for us, and then we still have Dave Mason and Gianni the Greek coming up.
Yeah, you guys keep hearing me mention this name, but he keeps hitting. Yuri Kulik over 1.5 shots on goal, hitting 17 out of 22 games this season. Now, here's the thing. Prez, he only had 1 shot on goal last game, so that was a loser. But he had 6 shot attempts. He hasn't gone 2 games in a row under this total all season. 20-year-old, he looks great for Buffalo. He's averaging 4.4 shot attempts. Your Toronto Maple Leafs, they give up a lot of shots on goal, 29 shots on goal per game. 22nd most shots on goal to centers and forwards. Prez, when we talk about these props, a lot of these props are rinse and repeat. Play them over and over and over, and that's what we've been doing with Kulik. You get on these streaks where he's hitting 17 out of 22 games, you keep playing it every time he plays. Even if he comes off a loss, you'd go right back to it and play. So that's why we talk about some of these same names.
Andy Lang joining us, everyone. Thanks, Andy. Anything to promote real quick?
Yeah, 4% dart play is up, and there's a few plays that are attached to that. We got some plays today and tomorrow as well, and the 4% I believe goes off Sunday. So lock that in. Like I said, 12-2 this week. We're up 18 units just in darts since Monday. How would that be? Wouldn't that be nice to be able to tell your friends, hey, I'm up 18 units in darts just since Monday? So go grab that play. We also have an NBA pack that is up with a plus money play.
Beautiful.
Looking forward to 14-8 on NBA, WT.buzz/AL.
Andy Lang, everyone. And guys, we have a 30-day all access pass. Every month we do this, $299, 30 days, all access. And what we've done now is we've added the rest of December. So, I mean, basically you're getting an extra 2 weeks and probably the busiest 2 weeks of the entire calendar year you're getting for free if you buy the entire month of January. So it's $299. You buy January, you get 2 weeks of December free. Thanks for watching Wager Talk, everyone. Love seeing all of you guys in the chat room. I missed you guys a ton, but I am back and going nowhere. Speaking about back, Michael Fellows, I'm here at Prez's Poker Tips. Michael, I got nothing for you right now, and I appreciate the kind words. I'm happy to do a poker segment every now and again. You know what? I will tell you how to play kings when an ace hits the board next week. Dave Mason joining us from Bet Online. Dave, absolutely love having you on with us. Thanks for taking time out of your day to join us, my friend. And let's get straight into some college football bowl bets. It starts tonight. Are you getting more action on these playoff games than on the Florida Tulane or Ohio game? I'm assuming a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you got to keep in mind so much action comes in late, right? So, I mean, I'm looking at the action right now. I mean, there's more money. Let's talk spread here. There's more money on the current Ohio Jacksonville State, the Cure Bowl, than tonight's Indiana Notre Dame game. That being said, so much more action yet to come in on that late game that the Indiana Notre Dame game will smash the current Cure Bowl. So yeah, like I say every week, I mean, there's so much action comes in so late. But they all get good. Yeah. They all get good. They all get good action. I mean, all these standalone games. I still look at this Cure Bowl action. It's like, oh my God! But Ohio versus Jacksonville State, and just taking this amount of money in bets, it's great. These standalone games on national TV. What else are you gonna do?
Dave Mason joining us from betonline.ag. Dave, let's stick with college football. If you can maybe just race down where bets are coming, what you're hearing, what you like, just some actionable info for us on the bowls that are right in front of us.
Yeah, sure. I'll start with some sharp action we've received. Jacksonville State plus 7.5. Again, that game's going on now. Indiana +7, +7.5 a little bit. Indiana Notre Dame under 51.5 or more. Penn State a little bit on -7.5. Penn State under 54. Texas -11. Texas under 51.5. Ohio State -6.5. That's the one we've taken the most money on from the pros. And Tulane +12 or more. As far as the splits for the playoff games, 57% of the bets are on the Irish tonight. 62% of the cash is on the Hoosiers. SMU, PSU, 52% of the bettors are on the Mustangs. 65% of the cash is on Nittany Lions. 61% of the bettors are on Clemson, while 54% of the cash is on Texas. And then the last one's getting the most action here, one-sided action. 70% of the bettors are on Tennessee. 56% of cash are on the Vols as well. But that's taking on a lot of action. That's going to be a whopper tomorrow night.
Yeah, and that Tennessee game, Dave, we've already seen the line move. It's pretty much 7 across the board. There is 1 7.5 out there. Where are you guys on that game?
Ohio State -7, -115. Yep.
And total of 46, Dave. That seems like a low total to me. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, it does seem low, and there's not a lot of cash on it, to tell you the truth. Most of the cash is on the under, but I'm going to do some calculation in my head. About 65%, I would say, on that under 46. But not a lot of money yet on that total. It does seem low to me as well.
Dave Mason joining us. Dave, we've got 3 days of NFL this weekend. We got Saturday 2 games: Houston, Kansas City, and Baltimore hosting Pittsburgh. I want to talk really quickly about this Baltimore game. The total came out at 47. It's been bet down to 44.5. These two teams have gone under the total against each other, and I could be wrong here, but I think it's 7,000 times in a row.
It's 8,000. It's 8,000. You were wrong.
Oh, it's 8,000.
Yeah,
my bad. Thank you. I think it was 1842. I think was the last time that matchup went over. Again, I could be wrong. So, are you going to just continue taking money on the under in this game? What are you seeing about this? Because it's so fascinating to me, given that the Ravens on any given day could put up 40 points.
Yeah, but I mean, Pittsburgh plays Lamar great, right? I mean, these two teams. I mean, it's one of the better NFL rivalries, and it's always a low scoring, just physical, punch you in the mouth, punch you in the nose game where defense prevails, and so I was shocked at that 44.5 as well. And you're right, it has been bet down. About 67% of the cash is on the under, and I believe we took some sharp on there as well. I think we took a little bit sharp on the under as well. So we'll see. I mean, if you wanted to fly over, I'll hop on board and bet that under, man. It's tempting, man, but it just looks too good to be true sometimes.
Yeah, no, I can't find my way to the under in that game. Anything jump out at you on the NFL card?
Oh, I'll let you. There's some sharp stuff. We got Cincy -7.5, Cardinals -4, Eagles -3, Titans +4, Giants Falcons over 43 or fewer, San Francisco Miami under 45 or more. From a ticket standpoint, a lot of lopsided tickets out there. 71% on Cincy, 67% on Pittsburgh, 90% on Detroit, 67% on the Cardinals, 67% on Buffalo, 69% on the LA Rams, 76% on Minnesota, and San Francisco getting 65%. A little bit surprised there. 82% on Tampa, and a couple teaser games. I mean, the Lions. There's going to be so much teaser action on the Lions. That's 6.5 right there. Everybody on every teaser on planet Earth is going to be keyed in on that Lions game.
Dave Mason joining us. Dave, before I let you go, NHL, NBA, college basketball. Anything real quick in those sports?
I haven't even looked, to tell you the truth. I haven't been digging into football pretty much 99% of my time, so I haven't even looked. I'm looking at the fights too, but no, I haven't really paid too much attention, to tell you the truth.
Fair enough, my friend. What do you got to promote for Bet Online?
BetOnline.ag, come on over. We have that our playoff bowls pick'em contest is live. $25,000 cash up for grabs for that. Not pick'em, rather a bracket contest. College football playoff bracket contest. $25,000. It's free to enter, so you get a free shot at some cash prizes. Just got to send us some action our way during the bowls to qualify for any prizes. So come on over to BetOnline.ag this weekend.
Dave, I can't thank you enough for doing this, man. Every Friday, you take time out of your day to join us. Thank you so much. Guys, you're watching Wager Talk today. Really appreciate you all being here. Dave, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I forgot to mention that to Andy and Brian. I just honestly, from my perspective, and I'm going to ask Gianni right off the bat, I think Gianni and I differ here. Holiday schmoliday. I don't even remember these holidays. I missed my daughter. I missed my daughter's birthday last week. I don't even know what day Christmas is. New Year's Day, I think, is January 4th. Gianni, does this stuff mean anything to you?
When you're older, the holidays are for young kids. Christmas is for young people. As you get older, you're just there to more or less be the benefactor for everybody else. You know that, Prez. You're in the same situation I am, where you've done probably better than most people in your family and most of your friends. And so when it comes to holidays and things like that, they're more excited to receive. And I get more excited to give. Like, I don't get anything. Like, nobody's sending me Christmas presents. No one's calling me even saying Merry Christmas. But I live for, this is that time of year where I get to do stuff. Like Sunday, I'm going to the Children's Hospital. We're going to go to Target, fill up the trunk. I have a meeting at 4:00. The lady's going to meet me, come out, pick up a bunch of, that's the stuff that I like to do. So before I would just do charities, but this year I want to do hands-on. Like, I'm actually reaching out to people that are asking for help and going up to their door and giving them presents for their kids or money or stuff like that. I swear to God, because before I would go to 3 Square because they match up as many meals as you buy during Christmas. So you could buy like 1,000 meals and they'll double it, 2,000 meals. So, you're feeding a lot of people and other things that I like to do around Christmas, but that's kind of just to make yourself feel good. You know what I mean? If you really want to do something to help others, make them feel good, then you got to get down to the personal level. And I've said this year I'm going to do that. I actually am doing that. So I'm actually going to people themselves and, seeing if I could be a little bit of assistance, because I was that kid that didn't get a present. And like when I was telling my girl last night, I got a Nerf football when I was like 9 years old. Dude, I was the happiest kid in the world. I carried that ball with me, Prez, every single day. Like, I could not wait to go out and play. Like, I didn't think, I didn't have 50 presents to unwrap. I was happy I got the Nerf ball. And my parents probably got it from like a church that gave it out for free, for all I know. You know what I mean? But to me, that was like the biggest deal, that I got that Nerf ball. So I think at this time, there's kids that are just like me. And like, hopefully someone steps up. And again, thank God I'm blessed a little bit to be able to help at this. And this is the kind of time you do it. So that's what I like this holiday for, more for other people than myself.
Wow,
Don't
Gianni.
tell nobody.
Okay. That was amazing.
Can I share a story real fast? I will give locks, but can I share a story just because I haven't had you all week, Prez? And this I got to tell you, because these young men listening right now, I know a lot of them, they may be single or they may be dating someone, or they're thinking, I want, that girl. Here's what you got to do. I'm telling you, I never saw this before in my life, Prez. I count cards. I'm an advantage blackjack player. I did not know how impressive that is to someone watching. I went with my girl to the casino. And I swear to you, she's like, please let me watch you play. I said, dude, they're going to throw me out. She's like, play at the small table. I just want to watch it. I said, okay. So I buy in at the small table, $15 table at Red Rock. Bro, I said, I'm going to go off. Like, I'm not even going to try to conceal what I'm doing. Like, even if I get 2 10s and the count's right, I'm going to split them. Like, if I get a king and a queen, I'm splitting them. Even though I have 20, if the count's high enough, I want 2 bets. I said, I don't care if they even see what I'm doing. So anyway, real class, I chopped them up. Prez, it was a beautiful thing to watch. I doubled my bank probably within like 30, 40 minutes. I doubled my buy-in. I'm like, she was like in shock. I swear to you, like eyes open, like, holy shit. She's like, I if I didn't see that, I would not believe it. Bro, she's driving home because I don't like to drive. Most times I let her drive straight to the freaking adult store, bro. Straight to the adult store on the way home. I swear to you, like, more happy and excited than I've ever seen somebody. Like, holy shit, I just saw you take down this big billion, you know what I mean? Here's this street kid from nothing, from a row house, and here's this billion-dollar company, and they're terrified of you, and you're chopping them up. For some reason, dude, women love that. Like, that is the biggest turn on.
Well,
so
hello.
Learn some advantage play. Forget showing off. Forget about the clothing, the buy. Dude, chop up a blackjack table and watch what happens. Trust me.
Okay, so then they went to the adult store, Dan. Dan,
Bro,
we're going to stay online.
There. I saw find a girl like this. I saw the most twisted display I've ever seen in my life, Prez. And as a joke, I said, what do you think? Looked me dead in the eyes, like as serious as a question I've ever asked her in my life, and looked at me and said, we'll get there. We'll get there. That's all I got.
I don't know where to go from here, Gianni. Let's focus on some college football.
Let's go.
We got you every day now, and I'm really excited about that. So thank you, bro.
Thank you for having me.
Let's race through some steam on college football, then we'll get to some NFL.
Absolutely. Earlier today, obviously, they bet up the Ohio side like crazy, and then they took the 7.5 with Jacksonville State. I expected that. We talked about that yesterday. Then tonight, there's some money on Tulane, sharp money, bet Tulane all the way down to +10, all the way down to +10. And also, don't forget this, Monday, UT San Antonio has been bet up all the way to 10, and there's still sharp bettors willing to lay it. They believe Coastal Carolina doesn't even want to be there. Like, this team just doesn't care. They're laying the points with UT San Antonio like crazy. Then Illinois, Northern Illinois, Fresno State under 42. Now it's about 40.5. So you may want to be cautious there, but they did steam that under. And then South Florida, San Jose. They laid the 3 with San Jose State and also went over the 60.5 there. And finally, Toledo plus the 8. That's why we're looking at 7. And looking at these playoffs real fast, I heard Dave Mason say under in Indiana, Notre Dame. The guys I work with went over 50.5. So you got to remember, there's different numbers. He's got sharp group that saw 51.5, and they went under. They placed a good bet because it went down to 49.5, 50. So they placed a good bet. Guys I work with disagreed. They like the over in that side. I like that as well. So I bet it also. We went over 50.5. They took the points with Indiana. They laid the points with Penn State tomorrow. They went under in Clemson, Texas, and they also laid the points with Ohio State. So pretty much through Monday, that's what we're looking at college football. That's all the sharp stuff that has already been bet.
Gianni the Greek joining us. Natural 8 with a genius comment. He writes, normally Prez would have run with a story like that. Slopes must have kicked his butt. Natural 8. I just didn't know where to go, bro. Listen, what can I tell you? That story was amazing. I don't want to picture Gianni at an adult shop, and Gianni's girlfriend looked him dead in the eye and said, "We will get there." My wife and I are already there. Okay. NFL, my brother. What do you do in this Baltimore? Let's single out the Baltimore game. This game fascinates me, dude. I took the over last time they played, and I was like, Baltimore puts up 30 points a game every game, no matter what. It's bloody well 44, 47, I think was the first one. All I need is 17 out of Pittsburgh. All these two teams do is play to the under. How do we attack this game, man?
And you have some recency bias of like Pittsburgh coming in off back-to-back unders on top of it.
Yeah. Yep.
Here's what's tough. Like you said, when it's an under series, you usually expect the market to correct itself, right? That's what we always talked about, how efficient the NFL market is. And if you see a bunch of unders, the line's going to start moving so low that it's got to go over, correct? But that's not what's happening here, because when I look at those last 10 totals, it's like they're not moving in that direction. Even like earlier in the year, like you touched about earlier in November, it was at 48.5. So it's like, here's two teams that went 8 or 9 straight unders when they played each other. The year before that, the highest total they got to was like 39, and yet they're going 10 points higher than that this year. That is as confusing as it gets. Like that, you almost want to play contrarian there and almost bet over and go over. But what happened? It went under again. Like you said, it went under again. So what do you do here? Honestly, I think you play contrarian, Prez, and go over or leave it alone. Like you can't go under now. You should have went under when the line opened, knowing that that's the trend. They're going to bet it blindly under. The public's going to bet it blindly under. They've been going under. So, I mean, bet it under right away. Then you have a decision later if you want to get off it. But I think right now that's the only play you got, over or pass.
Gianni, we're on the same page. I like the over 2 in this game, and it's just that bloody statistic. It's like I don't want to bet into it, but man,
I like it, Prez. I like it. I like the over, bro. I like the over. I do. I like the over.
I'm with you there. Houston, Kansas City. How about let's go one game at a time. Me and you race through Houston, Kansas City. I'm passing.
Listen, the Mahomes situation flipped everything. He looked good in practice. All of a sudden, they're a 4-point favorite instead of a 4-point dog. This team just doesn't win by margins. I've paid the price. Give me Houston or leave it alone. I think Houston probably gets the W in Kansas City, gives them their first loss. Don't be surprised.
Gianni, Cleveland, Cincinnati. I like the over in this game, 46.5. Game with Cincinnati. We know their offense is still trying, and their defense quit somewhere around September 1st.
I agree, but where it sits right now for me, it's wait for double digits and take the dog. It sounds square, it's moved so much. You're going against all that steam, but I can't bet it now. Prez, it was 6.5, 7, 7.5, 8, 8.5, 9. What was I waiting for? If I liked Cincinnati, I needed to bet it early. Right now, I'm taking Cleveland, but I'm waiting for it to get to 10, or I'm leaving it alone.
Horrible spot for the Detroit Lions. I know they're off of a loss, but this is just not a good spot for them. I don't like the 6.5 here. I would lean on Chicago. I'm passing.
Could not agree more. Give me Chicago. They just played about 3 or 4 weeks ago. We know what the line was in Chicago, and Detroit only covered that game. They won by 3. I mean, again, it may sound square, but give me the points with the Chicago Bears. The only thing you got to hope for is if a team's down in the second half like that has nothing to play for, they don't quit. And a team that, you want it to be competitive so that they're still in the game. Either they have a lead or it's within a score. That's what you need.
So I spoke a lot about this recently, which teams are going to quit, which teams aren't. I think the teams that have new coaches, young quarterbacks, I think they're going to continue playing strong through to the end of the season.
Makes sense.
I'm not worried about the Bears quitting. I think the same about Carolina. This Carolina team has tried their butts off for 4 straight games. And what have they got for it? Nothing. They, at their best, stink. I like Arizona.
I agree there. I think Arizona just rolls and tramples that team. It's above that key 3, which they're kind of making you pay for it. A road team like Arizona, and they're 2-4 on the road. I mean, they're not cashing too many tickets on the road. That's what scares me a little bit. and where Carolina's got double the amount of wins as home as they do on the road, so their home field advantage has helped them a tad bit. That's what scares me. But it's Arizona or pass. You can't have any confidence taking Carolina, even with the spread.
Gotta go with the over in the Buffalo game. Firstly, Buffalo can put up 40 themselves, and Drake May's moving the ball.
I took the Patriots. I'll tell you now, I took 14.5 with the Patriots. I thought that was way too much, and I agree with your total as well. It's the only way you could play it. So I think we agree there, and I like the points with New England.
Yeah, and guys out there, it's a horrible spot for Buffalo as well. They've literally lost their home field advantage going into the playoffs. 2-game difference now, coming off of a big win against the Lions. Don't get caught up on Buffalo this week. Philadelphia, Washington, Philadelphia, brother, even at 3.5. This is one of those. Philadelphia had 8 bad games in 3 years. They just happened to all be in a row last season. But other than that, this is one of the best teams for 3 straight seasons. All they do is win, and Gianni, all they do is cover numbers like 3.5.
I'm so pissed that I didn't bet the Eagles future when the season started, because you're absolutely right. On paper, they were probably a top 3 team in the NFL. Power rating wise, top 5 team in the NFL, but they lost 8 straight games for whatever reason, and that destroyed them. But what they getting it done this year, they're showing you they're that same team. They're just happening to win the game. The problem I'm having is I don't think I'm getting any line value here, because these two teams just played November 14th, and Philly was a 4.5 point favorite at home. So they were 4.5 at home. Now they're giving almost that much in Washington. That worries me. They did blow them out and won the game by 8 points, but that's what worries me. I don't think I'm getting any kind of line value, so I'm hoping Philly is just the much better team and gets the cover. That's the only problem there. So as a bet, I would have to look to the points with Washington, to be honest with you, and maybe a lower scoring game from these two.
And guys, be careful too, because Philly didn't really blow Washington out in that game. They needed 21 points in the fourth quarter to get that game. They were actually behind going into the fourth. I love the under in the Giants Atlanta game. I know Dave Mason came on, said they're taking bets on the over. I don't see it. I think New York will struggle to get to 9 points here. I'm on the under.
Yeah, I saw over steam as well at 41.5 and 42. I didn't understand it either. On paper and everything, it looks like a dead under. That's why I passed. I don't really have opinion on the side. Don't want to waste any time. So it looks like a pass for me. I'd probably take the points. I'm just one of those. I looked at a dog before I looked at a favorite. It's kind of force of habit.
Few more minutes with Gianni. I'm passing on the Tennessee game, and I got a bad feeling about the Rams. I think the Jets win outright.
Oh, I think that you got to look to their Jets at home. Listen, they're the team that gets bet every single week by the sharp bettors for some reason, and they haven't really done well with them. But for whatever reason, they think this Jets team continues to be undervalued. So I won't disagree there. Home dogs, I'll take them. Rams coming off last week. I like it.
What do we do about this Minnesota team? They're playing Seattle. Seattle is just so damn inconsistent. They could go out and win by 10 or lose by 20.
Yeah, absolutely. But here's the thing that is most telling for me. Minnesota, the look ahead was 1.5. Then they brought it out at 4.5. So it looks to me like there's a little recency bias factored in, unless there were huge injuries. Since then, it's kind of been bet down. So it looks like the initial move was Minnesota, but nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, the money's been coming in on Seattle, +4, +3.5. Now that's why you're looking at 3. I can't disagree with that. I think Minnesota's one of those teams that gets overlooked in the NFC, but in this spot, I do think it's dog or pass.
I like the over in the San Fran Miami game. Been bet down substantially. Yeah. I think there's a lot of value now to go the other way.
I can't disagree there. I kind of like Miami, too, against San Francisco. Listen, I was high on San Francisco coming into the season. I thought on paper they gave me a ton of value, even after their third or fourth game when they were sitting at like 2-2. I bet a future on them because on paper and power rating-wise, they were a top 1 or 2 team still. But the NFL comes down to injuries at the end of the year. Who's healthy? And this San Francisco team just is not that. I don't think they have too much to play for. Miami, again, pretty much in the same situation, but they're at home, and that's the only reason I would look to Miami. It's Miami or pass for me. Not a game I love, but I think your over makes sense, especially after that line move.
Nothing on the Vegas game. I'd go under if a gun was held to my head, and I like the over in the Dallas Tampa Bay game, and I actually lean on Dallas.
Give me Dallas. I agree with you 100%. Listen, this is their Super Bowl. Like, this is a big game for them because they're 6-8, playing more or less for nothing. But it's a primetime game, a team that's won 4 in a row, and you're coming off a win, so you're having a good week as far as the locker room is. You're shaking that, and they've won 3 of their last 4. Let's not forget that. If they're ever playing good, this is the time they're playing well. So if I'm ever going to back Dallas, I'm going to back them here, where they're being overlooked, but they are playing well against a red-hot Tampa Bay team. That I think the great equalizer again becomes the point spread. Give me the Dallas Cowboys at better than 3. I'm all over it. Monday night, I like the under. Call me a sucker. But when I saw New Orleans and Green Bay, I get it. It's not like the New Orleans and Green Bays of old, but that total just looked a little too low for me, especially Green Bay coming off a 30-point game. In fact, Green Bay scored 30 or more Prez in 4 straight games. And what am I looking at? A total of 42.5? Come on. To me, that's ridiculous. Give me the under all day.
So I actually prefer the under team total for New Orleans here, Gianni.
Yeah, they're not scoring. You're right.
So to me, it's like the under worries me there slightly because New Orleans defense is going to quit in this game, and Green Bay's defense is freaking lights out right now. Hats off to this Green Bay defense. Man, I loved that segment, brother. That was so much fun. Real quick, hoops tonight, and then I'll let you go.
Yeah, on fire in college basketball, I think number 1 over the last 3 days, last 7 days, and the sample size is going to get bigger and bigger. 6 straight college football winners. I have another bowl bet tonight, have bowl games over the weekend, and have my first 5% in the college football playoffs. That goes Saturday. Already loaded Sunday NFL as well. And during the holidays, we have tons of bowl games between now and the first week of the new year. Never been more excited. And jump on board. Sunday Steam Room. I'm going to put out the link for free. Before the holidays, I want everyone to join us. Bring your questions. Bring everything you can. And we'll be there. The link will be at WagerTalk. Make sure you check out WagerTalk on social media. And go to WagerTalk.com as well. And don't forget the odds screen. I use it each and every day. I think every bettor should.
Gianni, stay with us 1 second. I just want you to hear this. Quick recommendation. I got a chance to watch a lot of television while in the cabin. The Aaron Rodgers documentary was excellent. I loved every moment of it. It was awesome. There is a documentary on Netflix called Buy Now, The Shopping Conspiracy. I am going to tell everybody that is mandatory viewing. If there is any documentary in the history of documentaries that has to be watched by every person, man, woman, grandparent to toddler, it doesn't matter. That is an absolutely mandatory hour and 25 minutes. Buy Now, The Shopping Conspiracy on Netflix. It blew my
I'm all over
mind.
It.
And Gianni,
we're all consumers. That's all we are. We just consume. It's gotten disgusting. I hate it.
Gianni, it's crazier than that, dude. And I'll give you an example, and then we'll say goodbye. Light bulbs last 2,500 hours. In 1929, all the light bulb companies got together, had a meeting, decided that they would only last 1,000 hours so that people had to buy more light bulbs. Wait till you see. Dude, every one of them. iPhones glue their phones together so they can't be opened to fix. AirPods cannot be opened. Show blew my mind. It blew my mind.
And we keep falling for it. And yay, look at my cool thing that the celebrity, I have the same thing he does. It's ridiculous. Thank you. God bless, bro.
Merry Christmas, my brother. We'll see you next week. Lots of love, everybody. It's great to be back. Have an incredible weekend. And we'll see you all on Monday.